Well, hello and welcome to 5 Minutes, Maybe 10 with Steph. Sean had to go and find a new job outside the car business because, as you may know, Carvana and Amazon have taken over. So, he told me I could talk about whatever I want, and my first topic today is change. What happens when your schedule gets changed in your family, in your work, even your podcast? I want you to tell me, how does that make you feel?
April Fools, right? How does it make you feel? What was going through your head right there when you thought, oh my God, Sean's off the podcast? Now, some of you have been like, oh my God, thank you. It's about time. Other of you may have been worried about it, right? So here's the thing. When I want to talk about change, just like Steph was saying, it's one of those things that's always happening. Right now, we're in a change of season, right? We're heading into the spring season. Behind me, you can tell I've changed things up. I'm a sports guy, so now we've gone from the hockey season, my team's not doing well, into the baseball season, where my team will also not do well, but I am prepared to deal with the change of season because I enjoy this time of year. But when we talk about changes and we really get into what they mean, how you go about them, I wrote down a couple of notes that I want to make sure I get across to you guys. So one of the first things is, how do you handle change? Physically, how do you handle change? Does it make you sick to your stomach? Do you get excited? Are there things about change that make you nervous? Obviously, that's the case for most people, and it should. Change is not easy. Change is something that takes time to have happen to you. It can happen immediately, obviously, but in order for it to really sink in, it happens over time. So I've been through obviously a ton of changes in my life, from being in the retail space to being at a corporate job that I did not care for to now changing into my own company. That to me is kind of what embracing change is all about. But I think one of the biggest things that people need to consider about the word change is, why are they making a change, right? Are we making a change for the sake of making a change? Because in my industry and in my business, I hear that all the time. Right? I'll be sitting with a client, someone will say, Sean, I want to change this. My initial response is, why do you want to change that? Because I feel like it's time. That isn't always the best reason. And typically when we want to make changes in the business world, we should certainly have data and facts behind the thought of change. We shouldn't just change to change. I see a lot of companies do that. And honestly, it ends up not all the time in failure, but a good amount of it certainly can end in failure. And I get it. Change is necessary, right? That's all we're talking about right now, even in our business, is that change is necessary. Doesn't mean that things have to go a certain way, and in our industry, doesn't mean they have to go online. It just means we have to change how we've been interacting with our consumers for the past 50 years and update that into how they feel about today. But it's no different. I mean, look, was just out in Denver at IDS. Change. Uber. That's a change, right? From taxis. Well, it works out because I actually forgot my phone in an Uber. Had I forgot my phone in a taxi, do you know what would have happened to me? I would have never found my phone. But because I had Uber, boom, bam, boom, phone was right back in 5 minutes. And so, that, talk about change though, right? The idea of losing my cell phone. I mean, I live on that thing. It's my whole life. So I got a little nervous there, right? The change that was coming over me about that was quite a bit. But at the end of the day, it worked out. Everything's cool, right? So when I look at how people go through change, I think it can really tell you something about a person, how they handle change, whether it's at work or at home. It's a big part of life. Change, and we deal with it every single day. So my question to you is, how do you deal with change? And when you don't like or agree with the change, perhaps the change at your work that you're like, well, I don't like this. How do you react? What's the next move? Because I'll tell you, in my world, when I don't like things around me that change, I try to figure out why they changed, if they needed to change, and if I can change around that change to make it better for myself. And again, in our industry, we're talking about things like digital retail. People think that's about the change in consumer behavior. It's talking about the evolution. That's all change is. Things are evolving in front of us, and we must change and adapt along with them. That does not mean that everything has to go a certain direction or it is all going to be online or anything like that. It's about just being willing and open to seeing things a different way. Lastly, change is not easy. But in the entrepreneurial world today, you must be nimble and easily adaptable to change, because if you are not, if you get stuck in your ways, you will be out of business. And that goes for all industries today. Consumers are setting the way we as businesses do business with them. We must listen and follow. Okay? Guys, as always, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the April Fool's joke. As always, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, you'll find us everywhere. 262-278-0157 is the call number. Please call or text. Other than that, guys, thank you so much and have a great first week of April.